let's talk about jealousy. It is so important what I'm about to tell you, because sometimes abilities, talents, dreams, possibilities, and you're so and hopeful and optimistic, and that's wonderful. But if you're not aware that there are those that don't want you necessarily to succeed, that because you're so beautiful, because you are so striking, because you are so inspiring, you have such dreams and goals, still see the world with such possibility, there are going to be those that in their own life, they don't want you to succeed. That, along with, in some ways, naivete, can actually be part of what holds you back, perhaps temporarily. If you're a child of God, God has a purpose for you, God will always bring you to where He wants you to be. It is important to acknowledge that there are those around you that may be jealous of you. And it is very important, because even though you want to remain optimistic, you want to do all these things, you have a bright-eyed way of looking at the world, if you can't see the ways in which some are trying to bring you down, little comments, a little look up and down, a criticism about any little thing about you, your hair, your clothes, your gaze, the way you speak, your scent, anything, they will go down to as minuscule as they can, just to diminish you. And then in some cases, having you spend more time on the negative things that they're saying about you than actually going after the things that you want is what someone who's negative or being negative wants. Now, this is not to say that those others don't have potential and possibility in their lives. This is not to say that you are to think of yourself as better than others. No. But those who are not focused on their gifts and aware of their gifts and want to work on developing their abilities, you should not allow them to bring you down. So in talking about, are you depressed, in talking about jealousy, one of the first steps is to be able to acknowledge that other people may be jealous of you, and it may not be those that you expected. That's one of the trickiest things, that it may not be who you expected at all. And of course you could say, oh, well, that's obvious. But in many cases, it's not. And it may be one of the reasons why you have not advanced, because it's somebody maybe close to you that you don't suspect. So your guard is down. You don't recognize the ways in which you're being pulled off, or there's an attempt to pull you off your path. And I think it's possible that many times those who are doing it are not even really aware. And that's a much more complicated issue. But whether they're aware or not, if you are not aware, the things that are being said, even from those who are not in the situation where they're trying to create jealousy. Maybe they see you as a happy person. Maybe they see a group of people as being happy. So they want to set up a hierarchy that makes people in that group confused. Women, for example, think of the ways women, this is the ideal. This is what you have to be in order for you to be beautiful, considered eloquent, or considered desirable, or considered not to be awkward, or considered to be what they would call charismatic. All kinds of hierarchies set in place. I mean, maybe they put some publication out that says these are the top 100 so-and-so, the top most beautiful so-and-so. Or recognize power, because everybody has power. That's another conversation as well. That everybody has power. It depends on how you use it, to what extent you're aware of it, whether it's a latent power, whether it's an expressed, that's another conversation. But especially those who are powerful monetarily can get groups to fight amongst each other. So back to the idea of jealousy, that's another thing that people are not recognizing. Setting up these hierarchies within these other groups so that they spur on that jealousy. And then if somebody speaks up about something, that why should I bend to this hierarchy? I don't believe that just because somebody is X, Y, more beautiful or more desirable. I don't believe that. I don't agree with it. Then they say that person is jealous. Then they have all kinds of criticisms for that person, when the person is talking about something conceptual. But again, jealousy can come from another person that you're not aware of, but it can also come from those who are monetarily powerful, who want to keep their money. And they know that by stirring up groups that are called powerless, though again they have their power, many times they're not aware, that they can get them to fight so much amongst each other that they don't attain their goals. Same way somebody that you're not aware of is jealous of you or trying to sabotage you, and get you to fight amongst yourself. You've heard fight amongst, but what about when you fight amongst yourself? When you are thinking, oh, well, maybe no, maybe I'm not. Maybe they say that they're not as attractive as they once thought. Maybe they say, no, they're not as attractive as they once thought, or they don't like the shape of their body as they once thought, or maybe they're not as intelligent as, get them to believe that they're less. I remember there was a woman in a particular environment. You're so dumb. She's so dumb. And she wouldn't specify necessarily who was talking, or it would be an insinuation. She wasn't necessarily. But she would be insinuating something that she couldn't say directly. But it was always dumb. Who would do that unless they were so stupid? Who would be dumb enough to do? But she's the dumbest. This is the dumb. Always saying that. And probably had an insecurity that she was not bright, although I didn't see this person to be less bright, only not intelligent in the area of believing that by putting others down, constantly calling somebody else's intelligence into intelligence. A human being, if that energy that she into calling people dumb was placed on achieving something and maybe getting herself so that she didn't have to be doing the work that she was doing, the 9 to 5 entry-level work that she was doing, maybe that's what made her feel unintelligent, although it shouldn't. People start somewhere. People need to start somewhere, and looking down on somebody because they're doing an entry-level job doesn't make sense for a variety of reasons. But if she felt it wasn't good enough for her, she could be just projecting onto other people. So when you talk about jealousy, it could be overt, someone saying things definitely. It can also, a lot of times, it's those insinuations. A lot of times, it's those things that are not said, because who wants to look crazy? And that's not really a word that we use anymore. But who wants to look like they're completely unwell by just blatantly attacking people psychologically that they feel jealous of? They want to do it in a covert way. But if you are not aware of that, then perhaps it's not enough just to have those dreams and those abilities and that desire. Is it going to be hampered by awareness of what's coming at you in so many different ways? It's something to think about. And you know, one of the things sometimes that helps you in terms of being able to have a particular kind of stuff, we could debate what success is. Success that you perceive than what the world perceives. And I think in many ways it's important that it be, because when the world tries to get you to believe that success looks the same for everyone, or that success is based on just money, or having people around you, regardless of whether they're true to you or not, or having all kinds of possession feels empty, that's a conversation that can be had. But if you're someone who's able to have a goal and achieve things, where you see so many people are frustrated. So many people are so frustrated. And in many cases, they're putting that energy on trying to knock somebody else out of position that they could be putting on their own work. So if you don't recognize that, sit still sometime. Sit still, be quiet for that's going to help you to even see what's going on. When you've got so much going on and you're rushing around and you're doing this and you're trying to like all these posts and you're responding to all of, your text messages, your emails, it's on your posts, you're running around, you're thinking about this person put you down, this person said this, you're responding to this, people are giving you a look, giving them a look back, they're saying something, you have a quick retort, energy, ready if you've got all of this going on. You can't hear what's going on. You're not quiet enough to see where the detraction is really coming from. see the things that are actually holding you back from your goals. So, when you are in a situation where you look at beautiful women like Naomi Campbell, Gigi, Taylor Hill, you don't know the things that people have experienced in the background and what kind of mental acuity, focus, strength is necessary to deal with the kind of jealousy that they can come across just for, some of the success that they're experiencing or being in the forefront. And how does this work out in your own world? Because it's not only physical beauty that we're talking about. There are many women who are very intellectually inclined, who are beautiful as well, because every woman is beautiful, every person is beautiful. But they really focus on their intellectual pursuits. Or they really focus on their interpersonal experiences. Or they're really more focused on their intrapersonal, delving inside themselves and seeing what's happening. So, self-esteem, no, it should not be based on the outside. You're looking at a total person. So some of these images that you're seeing, why? Just sometimes they can be inspiring. Aspirational, somebody wants something and they go for it. And of course, on this channel, we like fashion. But your value will never be your outside. And also knowing who you are as a child of God, that's where your real value comes from. And so you have to be quiet enough to hear, to see. So before you, in many ways, sometimes are able to really take flight, you have to be able to recognize what could possibly be trying to stop you. Otherwise, maybe you don't even understand why you keep almost taking flight, almost really going, and then keep being brought down and you don't understand exactly what's happening. So it is important to look at jealousy. Because what are those things? Are they little comments to make you feel like less than who you are, so you don't want to pursue? Are there little comments to make you feel like less than who you are, so you're even too tired to get out of bed? Is it a look, a focus on the very thing that you're really great at, that you love, someone diminishing that very thing that you want to do, so that you question everything that you're doing? That's why it's so important, again, to focus on God and figure out what it is you're supposed to do. And then sometimes you have to get quiet enough and spend time by yourself to recognize what has stopped you in the past, so you can finally take off this time and share those gifts and share those abilities and help others to realize what they're capable of. Okay, you guys, love you so much. What are your thoughts? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever had someone pull you down in ways that you were not aware of? That's one of the main themes of this video, that you were not readily aware of it. Have you had people try to tell you that, not directly, but in other words, that your particular gifts have not been developed in such a way you're not capable enough to even pursue the very thing that you have so much interest in? Have you had that happen to you? How do you deal with jealousy? How do you keep stepping forward? I want to know, we want to know in the comments what you think. All right, guys, we're going to show you some more pictures from our sponsor, the Early Owego Antique Center in Owego, New York, which we love. You guys should go there. We love your comments on Early Owego too. Comment, you guys, like. We love you, and we'll see you next time. So guys, definitely want to get your thoughts on what you've seen, some of the images from today. What did you think about it? How did it strike you? How did some of the comments strike you? You know, what is it that you're working on in your own life, and how are you meeting your own goals? What's changing for you? We've leaped into this year. What are you seeing? How are the things that you mapped out or wanted? What are you seeing so far? Are you accomplishing those goals that you talked about at the beginning of the year? Or are you realizing that making more realistic goals is more empowering for you? Love to hear your thoughts, guys. And it is so wonderful to have you here. So we love you guys. Thank you so much for being here today. And we will see you next time. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, even when it becomes a video on demand. Write your thoughts in the comments, give a like, give a thumbs up. Thank you so much for your support. We love you so much, guys. And we'll see you next time.